Hello guys. In today's video we are going to explain you about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency mining. These are the same strategies we used to accumulate $50,000 in revenue after 1 year. Approximately 14% of Americans own some type of cryptocurrency. Research shows that number will most likely double next year. Stick to the end of video to find out more. In 2020, the cryptocurrency market was on fire. However, most people are unfamiliar with virtual currencies. Sure, more people than ever have probably heard of Bitcoin, and they may have heard of some of its closest competitors by market cap, such as Ethereum and Ripple, but they have no idea what purpose they serve or how they actually work. Today, we'll look at yet another perplexing topic: cryptocurrency mining. What exactly is cryptocurrency mining? One of the most common methods of validating transactions executed over a blockchain network is cryptocurrency mining. Not only does blockchain work to protect transaction data through encryption and store this data in a decentralized manner, i.e., on hard drives and servers all over the world, to prevent a single entity from gaining control of a network, but the primary goal is to prevent the same crypto token from being spent twice. In essence, mining is one method of ensuring that cryptocurrency transactions are accurate and true, so that they cannot be compromised in the future. What is the process of mining cryptocurrency? The term cryptocurrency mining refers to a validation model known as proof of work (POW). There are two common types of validation, one of which is known as proof of stake, which we'll discuss shortly. Individuals, groups, or businesses compete with high-powered computers to be the first to solve complex mathematical equations that are essentially part of the encryption mechanism in the POW model, which is used by Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin, to name a few. These equations represent a group of transactions known as a block. The first person, group, or company to solve these transactions and validate the accuracy of these transactions within a block receives a block reward. A block reward is paid out in the form of digital tokens of the currency being validated. For example, the current Bitcoin block reward is 12.5 tokens. That is, whoever is the first to solve equations correctly for a block receives 12.5 tokens. With Bitcoin currently trading around $9,500 per coin, that equates to a nearly $119,000 haul. Are there any drawbacks to the POW model? There are two major issues with the POW model. For starters, it is a very energy-intensive practice. Massive mining centers with graphics processing units and/or ASIC, application-specific integrated circuit, chips are set up to handle this validation and processing in order to mine virtual currencies. Electricity costs can be exorbitant depending on where an operation is located. Depending on how large digital networks and mining farms become, it could also be a drain on local or national electric grids. The POW model also has a security flaw, at least in the case of smaller digital currencies. Any individual or group that gains control of 51% of a network's computing power has the ability to effectively hold the network and digital currency hostage. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin networks have almost nothing to worry about. Newly issued coins with fewer participants, on the other hand, may be vulnerable. Is it true that all POW mining is the same? Though cryptocurrency mining is frequently referred to as a free-for-all, there are differences in the equipment used to validate transactions. Because of the difficulty in validating Bitcoin transactions, miners must use highly specialized and expensive ASIC chips. In the meantime, most other virtual currencies allow miners to use graphics processing units from companies like NVIDIA or Advanced Micro Devices to prove transactions. However, the difficulty of mining varies from cryptocurrency to cryptocurrency. What's the other option? Despite the fact that there are several proofing alternatives, the proof of stake (POS) model is the most direct competitor to the POW model. There are no high-powered computers or mining farms sucking up electricity to validate transactions in a POS system. Instead, digital currency stakeholders are given a randomized right to validate transactions. In layman's terms, the more cryptocurrency you own, the more likely you are to be chosen to validate a block of transactions. Those who are chosen do not receive a block reward when they finish the task. Instead, they receive the total fees from the proof transactions. The obvious advantage of this platform is that it is significantly less expensive. There's also no need to worry about hackers gaining control of 51% of a network's computing power with the POS model. To gain control of a POS-backed network, hackers would need to control 51% of all outstanding virtual coins, which could be quite costly. However, it is not without flaws. The biggest issue with the POS model is that major stakeholders can have a much larger say in a digital network's future path. Whereas POW networks are massive and incorporate many people's opinions, POS networks lose some of the decentralization that distinguishes cryptocurrencies, allowing larger players to shape a cryptocurrency's future technical and economic pathways. It's difficult to predict which method developers will prefer in the future, but at least you'll know what they mean when they say cryptocurrency mining in the future. Bitcoin is on the rise once more, temporarily breaking through the $60,000 barrier. One Bitcoin was valued little over $10,000 as recently as September 2020, and the recent increase has spurred many investors to enter into crypto for the first time. Is the same true of the process of gaining it as its worth rises? Is it profitable to mine Bitcoin these days? In 2021, mining Bitcoin will be profitable. Bitcoin, like the rest of the cryptocurrency industry, is built on a more solid foundation than ever before. Long-term investors and miners who stayed on top of early cryptocurrency developments and hung on to their assets have earned massive dividends. It necessitates technical knowledge, which sometimes deters novice miners from attempting to build their own Bitcoin mining computer. Even said, mining is increasing in scale and efficiency, which means there are new methods to make money with Bitcoin, such as yield farming, which makes money by leveraging existing crypto assets. There are those who join Bitcoin mining platforms such as Bitcoin Prime official website. Public awareness and acceptance. Bitcoin, as the first cryptocurrency to enter the market, was not well received or even known in its early phases. However, as time passes, public awareness of Bitcoin continues to expand. Individual Bitcoin miners and investors, as well as major financial institutions, have accepted Bitcoin. According to Forbes, even major financial organizations are becoming interested in Bitcoin, as seen by a significant increase in CME contracts for Bitcoin futures. According to Forbes, this growth is more than 3 times the dizzying 425% increase in Bitcoin's price over the last year, and a further illustration of the extraordinary degree of demand for exposure to the asset class among institutional investors. Morgan Stanley just became the first big bank to enable rich clients to invest in Bitcoin funds, indicating that this trend will only grow. That comes just a few days after Bitcoin hit a fresh high of $60,000 per unit. Processing power and profitability. Whether you're mining Bitcoin with a single rig or as part of a larger crypto farm, the main connected cost is the electricity you use in the process. The entire energy effect of the business has typically been a simple measure to gauge expansion, and according to The Guardian, it has already surpassed Argentina's annual carbon footprint. Their information comes from the Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, which provides up-to-date information on the energy effect of mining. When experts and users discuss an increase in energy usage, the most dramatic shift is usually associated with recent acceptance spikes. There are more cryptocurrency mining rigs and hence more energy use when there are more miners. However, other data reveals that the cost of mining Bitcoins has been relatively constant over the last decade. Limited supply of Bitcoin. Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies are said to have a limited supply. Miners are seeking for an increasingly tiny number of bitcoins as time passes and more individuals accumulate cryptocurrencies. Most cryptocurrencies go through a halving procedure on a regular basis to encourage growth and reduce inflation. This effectively increases the number of bitcoins left to mine while also lowering the value of each bitcoin. For example, somebody with 2 bitcoins in their Bitcoin wallet would have 4 after a halving event, which happens every 4 years. More technically put, when 210,000 blocks are formed, halving occurs. However, because there are a finite number of bitcoins, there will only ever be 32 halving. A countdown until the next halving can be found here.